Good noon. It's Barbara. It's exactly noon. It's not morning. It's not afternoon. This is where we are. Good afternoon, since it's been more than a minute since I did my gizmo. It's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. I'm going to put on a lipstick you've never seen. And it maybe you've never seen it because you can't see it. Now, why I ordered this lipstick from Mary Kay, I do not recall. I've had it for a long time. It looks like lip gloss. Actually, I bought it at the same time I bought this color. And I thought, oh, I'll get a dark color, I'll get a light color. But it's too light. Let me just jazz it up a little bit. Making it stripy. Anyway, that's the beauty portion of our show. So, yesterday, no vlog. So this is just, back to the lipstick. There's no point in this lipstick. All it is gonna, oh well, that looks okay. It's just gonna get on my cup. Good morning. This is my first cup of coffee. I did have a tea first thing in the morning because my tummy was a little upset. So, for those of you who are daily watchers, you know that there really wasn't much going on here at this channel yesterday. Saturday night, when I was working on my trove, it was late-ish, 11, and suddenly I'm like, oh my gosh, my back hurts. All of a sudden. And I've been sitting there knitting. Now, my chair is not that comfortable for me, and we're working on that. Dennis is working on cleaning out his office, so that chair can go in his office, and I can get the chair that I think is going to be very comfortable for me, but isn't where it should be, so. And I may ask him to change that prior to his office being done. I think we're just going to make a change. But anyway, I was sitting there and my back hurt. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So, well, let me go to bed. So I did a few stretches, little exercises, something, just a little. And didn't seem to help. I took some Advil. Didn't seem to help. And during the night, I kind of just couldn't decide if I thought, I could be passing a kidney stone. I mean, it was very painful, and seemed like it was very localized. And then in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh, maybe it's just, muscle spasm. I don't know. Didn't sleep well. I felt best when I was laying on my left side, so of course, I can't fall asleep on my left side. At least I didn't think I could, but anyway, now I'm dragging out the story. Sunday was Super Bowl Sunday. And my back ached to me all day. And I'm like, I don't want to go to the ER or anything on Super Bowl Sunday. Not that I thought it would be crowded, because I didn't. But I thought might not have very many people working. But it hurt all day. Actually, Sunday night I slept relatively well. I was on my left side. I slept relatively well. Better than I expected. Monday morning, yesterday, I went to the ER. Still very sharp pain, 8 out of 10, on the scale, and, but it comes and goes. It comes like in waves. And anyway, me having a very poor understanding of anatomy, thought it could be my kidney. And if not my kidney itself, a kidney stone. That's how painful it was. And anyway, so I went to the ER. We got there about 11 o'clock, and there were 8 little groups of people in the waiting room. Dennis took me, but, you know, Kim was here coming to see her mom, so that worked out great. But Dennis went home because, you know, nothing more boring than sit around an emergency room. So, took blood. You don't want to see this. The student inserted 4 needles there that didn't work, and then I didn't know she was a student. And then the other person who was in there said, no, that's going to blow. And then, see that little dot? They put an IV line right there. That little dot. Nothing like a skilled phlebotomist, I'm telling you. It's one of those and I hope the first young woman improves a lot, and that she practiced on me. But the second lady, hats off. She knew her stuff. Anyway, so they put a little IV line in my arm, which I thought was interesting. Took the blood from that and left it there. So she said, well, in case they give you any medication or anything, you're all set. Then they took me in for a CAT scan. They did a CAT scan. I've never had a CAT scan before. And they took me in there first, actually. She said, oh, it takes at least an hour, you know, for them to read it and do everything. So we tried to get it early. And then I got the blood. She gave me a cup to pee in. Took me to a little room, and I was able to actually give a urine sample, which I'm not always successful with that. And I waited in there for 3 hours. And the physician's assistant, who, I don't know, I got the idea. Well, when she talked to me originally for the 2 minutes, and I told her what, you know, what I was thinking, and she's like, well, there's nothing there but muscle and bone. It's not your kidney's higher. I'm like, okay. All I know is it hurts. I didn't say that, and I didn't say it like that. But anyway, she was pretty like, you know, and left. And they waited for the results, and it took another 3 hours for all the results to get together, for her to come back and say everything looks clean, your CAT scan looks clean, your blood work looks clean, your urine looks clean, everything's clean. You have a backache, take Motrin and go see your doctor. She turned around and walked out. And then when the nurse came in and, you know, or the tech came in and took out my IV and everything, you know, she said, take Motrin. And I'm like, what the heck is Motrin? You know, I've heard the name, but I've never had it. And so Dennis came and picked me up, and we're almost home. He says, do you want me to go get Motrin? And I'm like, no. And then when we got home, he looked it up. It's ibuprofen. But I betcha Motrin pays that hospital to say Motrin instead of ibuprofen. What do you bet? I'm skeptical of those things. But anyway, so I already have ibuprofen. So here I am. I have a very painful backache, and it's been aching me since Saturday night. It comes and goes. I got my heating pad out this morning. Dennis found it for me. And that helped, and I am going to go back and sit in my chair with my heating pad when I'm done talking to you. And pain is coming and going. But this morning, before 9 o'clock, my doctor's office called and said, oh, I'm calling in follow-up from your ER visit. I'm like, well, everything's connected, you know. They're all Penn Medicine. And anyway, so I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. So you have to wait till Thursday morning to find out what my doctor says. But since many of you have thought I should have gone to the doctor about my arm, I'm going to the doctor. But of course, as these things happen, I made an appointment with my doctor and my arm doesn't hurt anymore. So there. It's a little sore. It's a little sore. I can still talk to her about it. But my theory on that is I usually sleep on my right side, and it's my right arm that hurts. And I've been on my left side because my back hurts less when I'm on my left side. So I haven't slept on it for 3 nights, and I wonder if that's why it feels better. I don't know. See, I'm not good at this. Anyway, so my back is pretty much hurting, and I'm very disappointed in it. I didn't do anything to it. I didn't do anything weird. I didn't do any like weird twisting, lifting, I was knitting. I was knitting on my trove. And all of a sudden I'm like, wow, my back aches. And I thought, oh, the chair's not that comfortable. Let me get up. I'll go lay down, go in bed, do some exercises. No. And it still hurts. So I don't know what this is. But I'm going to my doctor tomorrow afternoon, so don't worry, I'm taking care of it. And my tummy was a little iffy this morning, so I had tea. So this is my first coffee, but it's afternoon now, so maybe it'll be better. Anyway, oh, I am so sorry to have this conversation with you, let me tell you. But I know some of you are worried about me, and I'm fine. She was a little disgusted with all this, hoo-ha. I guess they really had some, real emergencies, which mine wasn't. But the reason I went to the ER, which I wouldn't be necessarily inclined to do, is that I really did think it was my kidneys were involved. And in one way or another, it could have been a kidney stone going down a duct or something, And I thought I needed a CAT scan. And, if I need tests, my doctor doesn't do that. So I'm going to go to the doctor and they're just going to send me around. And I thought, let me just. And I'm glad I did. Now, turns out I'm perfectly fine, which is good. That's good news. The bad news is I still hurt. So, but anyway, so I'm going to go talk to my doctor tomorrow. But that's why I went to the ER. And I've never been to this ER before, and I've lived here 20 years. So it's not something I do very often. And when we went there at 11, like I said, there were 6 or 8 little groups of people, the person who needed to be seen and their husband or wife or, whatever. When I came out at 4 o'clock, it was packed to the gills, that waiting room. People were standing. It was crazy. It was crazy. I'm like, cracked to the guy as I was leaving, and he said, yeah, I think everybody decided not to come on Super Bowl Sunday, so they decided to wait. I'm like, well, I get that. I did too. But I came earlier. Don't go at 4 o'clock. Whew, it was so crowded. Anyway, so I've been babying my back, and this heating pad really helped, so I'm happy about that. And I will see what my doctor has to say. She hasn't seen me in person in about 5 years. We did do a video conversation when I had COVID. I'm not a going to the doctor kind of person. You might have figured that out after a year of complaining about my arm and not going to a doctor. I don't need to go to a doctor. I can complain to you guys. Anyway, well, I'll kill a lot of birds with one stone. The back of my knee's been bothering me too, so I'll talk to her about that. I'll get my money's worth out of this visit. See what she has to say. I'm hoping she can give me a muscle relaxant or something that will help my back, because the ibuprofen really isn't helping my back. So, meanwhile, I haven't knit at all since Saturday night, because it just doesn't leave me, like inclined to knit. Although I will confess, I did organize my trove bag, because I had no idea what was causing the pain. I thought there was a small chance that they would admit me. I don't, who knows? If I had like a terrible thing going on with my kidney, they would probably admit me. So I got my knitting bag all organized, so that Dennis could bring it to me if I got admitted. So, unfortunately, I took all my little balls out of Christy's great see-through bag she gave me and put them in a zippy bag so they would fit in my project bag. But I will move them back. And, try to knit, because the pain comes and goes. And the heating pad really did help, so we'll see that. But, meanwhile, yeah, I need this color needs a little color. It's like, looks like lip gloss on me, but it leaves, marks on your cup. Which is why you haven't seen it before. But it's not, it's not uncomfortable or anything, so. So we had Holly here this morning, and so that was nice too, because Holly is Aura's physical therapist, so I got to talk to her, and she took my blood pressure, because my blood pressure was very high in the hospital, but they have those automatic machines that close on your arm, and I always panic with those because I think they're never going to stop. So my blood pressure always reads high with those kind of machines. And Holly had just the pump up one because she was doing Aura, so she did me. But my blood pressure is a little high, but I'm in pain. That causes higher blood pressure. I typically have normal blood pressure. So when I was younger, I had very low blood pressure. I once was rejected to donate blood because my blood pressure was too low. After that, I would walk up the steps to go to the place so that I would get my heart rate up a little bit, and that raised my blood pressure a little bit. The things you do so that you can help your community. I got older, so they stopped rejecting me for my blood pressure, and that was fine because I didn't want to, climb up and down the steps anymore at work. They used to have a big Red Cross bus that would come and sit in the parking lot, and everybody from the building who wanted to would go and give blood. So I've given blood many times, although it's been a while. Not my favorite thing. Those needles in the arm, I was like, I felt bad for her, because I'm sure she was sad that she was making me yell. I didn't yell loud, but like, oh. And then I'm like, are you done? She's like, no. I'm like, oh. But that second lady, man, that was skill. That was skill. That little dot right there, that's it. That was it. One poke. Yeah. Yeah. I really appreciate a good phlebotomist. So anyway, that's the story of why I wasn't here yesterday. But yeah. But I'm back. And I promise that I am not going on and on about my back the way I go on and on about my arm. Because the arm is stopping me from knitting. And the back, well, maybe it's stopping me from, but anyway, nobody wants to hear that. So this is the story. I might mention if it doesn't hurt. How about that? I'll mention if it stopped hurting, so that you'll know. If I don't talk about it, just assume it hurts. How about that? I think that works. All right, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop and go sit on my heating pad. And, obviously I'll let you know what the doctor has to say. But meanwhile, I hope you're feeling well. I hope you didn't spend all day yesterday in the ER. Please. And in Great Britain, it's A&E. Our ER is our emergency room, but on my Vera's and things, they call it A&E, accidents and emergencies? I don't know. They call it A&E. Anyway, I was at the ER. I'm going. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. And thank you, everybody, for your concern. I really, really appreciate it. But I'm fine. I just have a backache. Take some Motrin and go away. You would think she would appreciate having, you know, somebody who wasn't really that much of an emergency. I can imagine. It's a nice break, you would think. Apparently not. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay safe and stay sane.